don't know if you guys have heard of BYD. It's a big company. They make a lot of batteries. They make a lot of cars. We still see a whole lot of them in the U.S. We do see some of their big electric buses. China, they're coming. They got some compelling models. And I think Lars from Best in Tesla might know a little bit about that. And you ever see him in person, just be nice.
Yes, exactly.
Let's talk about BYD real quick. What do we, tell me what you know.
Well, I think that one up there is very special.
Oh, is that the Dolphin?
That's the Dolphin, the first ever in Europe. That's going to be probably less than 30,000 pounds here in the UK. So about 8,000 pounds cheaper than the ID3. Big competitor.
Oh, that's a problem for both sides.
Yeah, because it's quite nice to build. And inside there, I thought it's one have it.
Oh, the spring cheddar. And they look great.
Yeah. Feel inside is good.
Quite good. The dash feels nice.
That's really nice material.
Have you felt that? Oh, it's pretty good, right? Okay. Well, that's an honest answer. All right. Big reputation Chinese goods have had, at least prior to the bullets of Apple or Foxconn, was that the quality was not necessarily up to snuff. Like, what are we thinking now? How good are Chinese cars? They're perfect in European markets abroad.
I think this one is even better than the ID3 does, because I think the next automaker's problem is that they have to make them as cheap as possible because they're still not profitable on affordable EVs. So you can kind of feel that in the ID3. It's not the plastic in there, where here is much nicer the interior, in my opinion.
Sure. And these are coming later.
This is already here.
This is already here.
The other three is already here.
And how's it doing? I mean, how are the reviews?
A bit wow with traction. So some might put off by that. But it's a big booming car at the same price of an ID3.
Yeah, and that is a good size.
That is a good size, yeah.
Now, in Europe, they don't hit EVs, even imported ones, with some of the same kinds of import tariffs that you might find on other cars. Is that true? Are the incentives comparable on imported EVs?
Yeah, because I think many, I think is in general, definitely in my country, is the general EVs are not as heavily taxed as Pulsar. So it doesn't matter which brand it was.
It doesn't matter where it came from, it still gets good treatment. Yeah.
Because it's a mini.
And that's the difference we see in the U.S. They're keen to punish a lot of manufacturers that in ways that are not necessarily helpful. If the goal is EV adoption, we would have BYDs, but until they build a factory, it's not something that's actually super possible.
Well, they're working on building a factory in Europe. If they say, hopefully in a couple of years, they will have a factory to start building and making them even more affordable.
And in my Blank is Doomed series that I did with Bear from Bear's Workshop, BYD is one we covered, and they are not doomed. They've got large and growing cash reserves. They make their own batteries. They have their own in-house chip design. And for now, they're using, even though they've got ambitions to build their own FSD chips, right now they're using NVIDIA and letting them kind of deal with all the risk and massive costs associated with developing such a program, which I think is great because we've seen how much money Waymo and Cruise have poured into self-driving without actually reaching market scale in any way, without showing any revenue. So tell me what we got here. What's going on?
That is the MT4, and also a Chinese brand called old UK brand that has been bought by the Chinese and is now a pure electric brand. And this is actually a typical building EV, in my opinion. It's been around here for the whole of 2023 in Europe. So in March, so last month, it was the fourth best-selling electric vehicle in all of Europe.
In all of Europe?
Yeah.
So Model Y, Model 3,
ID3, and I came over 100 later to find this band.
Yeah. So nipping right on its heel.
On the tail of the ID3, so I believe it's going to pass it.
And
maybe
SAIC is the parent company.
Yeah.
And they are a well-established Chinese manufacturer.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of commercial trucks, vans, and also automotive in China.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, if you look at it, it looks fine.
Yeah.
What do you guys? Charging cables down here? Oh, some stuff, a little bit of stuff. Tire pressure.
Under tire, but the build for it, it feel really nice, and well, it looks good inside this.
Oh yeah, not super complicated, but it still has some tactile buttons. A handful on, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, I don't want to get rid of my turn signal stock. I'm not a fan of that, at least the way it's currently implemented.
Yeah.
Better look from back here. Is this the only model of MG currently out that's electrified? And in Europe, think about
No, we have this for MG versions. There's also the Step S, and then there is two others I can't remember the name of, but bigger SUVs kind of types.
And they do a lot of interesting design work that gives it styling that maybe you won't like, but at least they're trying. It's not boring.
It's not boring, but it's not overdone in my opinion.
If you really want to get technical, they still have the ultrasonic sensor.
Yeah.
So 4 of them. So that's something that a lot of buyers are pretty annoyed with certain other larger companies over.
Yeah.
I know that. I'm assuming they're priced reasonably on account of the fact that they're such strong sellers. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's very fair to say. Here in the UK, where we are right now, it's priced at about £27,000, so more than £10,000 cheaper than the ID3 was.
Oh no.
Yeah, and it does have a bit more range. You get one with more range. It does have a heat pump. The ID3 does not come with a heat pump. You can upgrade and buy one. Well, that doesn't.
To try and catch up with what other people are already doing.
Yeah,
You can pay extra.
and it does come. You can get a little tow hitch that can
Okay.
tow 500 kilos. The ID3 have a little hook for a bike ride. That's it. So you will get a little bit more car here. It does vehicle to load as well. So you actually think it, in my opinion, is a better car than the ID3. But it's £10,000 cheaper.
So that tells me that Volkswagen is a little bit resting on their reputation and brand loyalty
Yeah.
in lieu of actually making more and more compelling cars.
Yeah, and I think brand loyalty is going to fail when it's 10,000 into pounds. That's your wallet.
Yeah, 12 grand US is difficult to overcome.
Yeah.
In those
Brand loyalty will only take you so far.
Wow. So there's other Chinese players who are coming. Should we look at the
More of this Aurora down here.
It's a little ways off, but we'll make the walk.
We have another Chinese player on the way down there. Polestar right over here.
Well, we can look at the Pulsar on the way. Polestar is known in the U.S. So the Polestar is a Polestar 2.
Yeah. Whole route breed in there, but that's just a concept. It's not a production vehicle.
Looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
And Polestar is one that my viewers will be more familiar with because there's a lot more reviews in the U.S. of them.
Yeah.
And they're a bit known. If you want to get the skinny on that, maybe I'll get Bear's Workshop to give us a tour of his. How are these selling?
They're selling quite nicely. Yeah, for sure. And it's priced a little now because of all the price costs. It's a little bit above the Model 3, but they were very comparable to the Model 3, both in price and also in the specs. They can blend hold. So they have done a really good job of making a good premium.
And they look nice too.
Yeah.
So that's tremendously helpful. So the last one I guess we'll cover because it's who's at the show. By the way, I saw a fun one in the program for the show. They listed all the manufacturers and next to some of them, like Mercedes, but declined to attend. Yes, name and shame. If you want to be a player, you got to play the game.
Yeah. They're not here.
Yeah. So this is the Aurora Funky Cat. This is already on the road. This has been out since what, November?
Yeah, something like that, here in UK at least. And they have actually tried to make it very simple. Not the car itself, and that is actually quite nice interior in my opinion, and there's not much piano black plastic anywhere. I think it has really, really nice build form to it and everything.
And this has been made by, do you remember? I did an interview with this gentleman over here.
Yeah.
Who makes them again? Great Wall Motors.
Wall just stress.
Is it the parent company of Aurora. And these have been out since November. Perfect. I paid attention.
Nice oomph to it.
Yeah.
Little bit tiny.
Well, for a car this size, this is about what I would expect.
Yeah.
What do we got underneath? Yeah, the usual. You got room for your charger and your emergency equipment.
But nice roomy inside, you know.
Nice room inside. Why don't you hop in and show me how much room we got about? Oh, yeah. So you're not touching. And how tall are you?
180 in the hooters. I don't know what
Put it on the screen. Yeah.
This feels, this is nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it looks good.
Yeah.
It's not to everyone's taste. Nothing is. And that's got a good sound. The paint looks beautiful, I think. The quality is fine. But again, at least it's not boring.
No, it's kind of like, in my opinion, going for that mini area.
Yeah, it's got a cute retro look.
And a big, nice build quality and his interior, and it costs 32, instinct 32 with a 32,000.
Then we've got the next. Doesn't have a name yet. It will soon. And this looks like it is going to absolutely be a Model 3 competitor. Would you say that's fair?
Yes.
And
Coming out in Q1
of next year. Because it's a real company, that already makes real cars, I'm confident when they say they're going to release it, that they'll release it. Great Wall is a well-established company.
Yeah.
That's already in this market.
Yeah, and they do some good stuff actually with these cars, where they make it very simple. There is one you can choose, and then there is 4 or 5 different colors. You want the car? What color? Let's go.
Let's go.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, we only sell them one way. Good.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I get tired of legacy manufacturers playing games where they'll put their basic safety features behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Like, my van is one trim level too low, so I don't have blind spot detection. I don't have heated side mirrors for the 5 times a year when my mirrors frost up. And that is, we're talking pennies for a significant amount of safety, and they just won't do it.
Yeah.
And this, the impression that they were able to give me, because final price, final specs, even the actual name were not yet known, is that they're targeting to be comparable to the Model 3.
Yeah.
To provide an option for people who may not want a Model 3. And I imagine they're going to try and make it just a hair cheaper.
Yeah.
So, China, doomed or not?
Definitely not doomed. They are coming up. They're already here.
They're already here, I would agree. Anything we missed?
Don't think so.
I don't think so. And these are just a handful of the brands that we're going to be seeing more of in the coming years. And
if I should add one last note, it would be that in China they already have a true affordable EV, like the Toyota Yaris kind of a type vehicle with the BYD Seagull. That's only cost $11,000 in China. So that's the next wave of the affordable vehicles that are coming to Europe and probably the US as well.
The subcompact.
Yeah, that's the small little tiny one that the other legacy automakers come miles and miles away of getting down to profitable. Yeah, and that's where the Chinese come in.
And they don't want to. Ford only makes one passenger vehicle now that is not a crossover SUV or larger.
Yeah.
And that's the Ford Mustang. And they've gotten out of that space. I think that's crazy. Well, we're making much money on it. Right. But that's how you can't develop brand loyalty if you don't have a way to get new buyers who can't afford a $60,000 SUV.
Yeah, I think they gave away the affordable market for ICE cars to the Japanese in the 70s, and I think they're going to do the same thing with the Chinese now.
Yeah.
In news.
Lars from Best in Tesla, I tell you to check him out, but if you're watching this, you're already watching that. So don't check him out. No matter what you do, be very careful. I don't know if he can be trusted.
Definitely not.
Thank you,
Lars.